today's detail, I've got a bunch of pads that need to be washed. I'm gonna put warm water in this bucket with some Dawn dish detergent because Dawn has degreasing properties and it's gonna release all the polishes, waxes out of these wax applicators. So on this job today, doing a paint correction on this black Silverado. So we're not gonna be ceramic coating on this job. This job's just gonna be the paint correction. Then I'm gonna coat it with Daddy-O's paint sealant by Shine Supply. Then we're gonna top it with Clutch to help add hydrophobic properties, to protect the sealant and help it last over time and give this truck some insane gloss. So you guys hang tight and I'm gonna go wash some bucket pads. Okay guys, so I got the majority of my pads washed. I went ahead and washed off the polishing and compound pads first because when you're washing these wax pads, the wax within the pad is so thick. So I'm letting all these wax pads soak in, kind of wringing all the wax out of them. Alright guys, so I've got the truck washed now and I did blow dry it with an electric blower real quick. And I'm also going to towel dry it to get the leftover spots off. But today was pretty much pad maintenance day as well as towels. And so if you have good quality towels like I use from the rag company, you want to wash them with a pretty good heat setting, as well as using a couple of ounces of a non-fabric softener detergent. Shine Supply makes a detergent strictly for towels that I use this pretty well, gets the stains out of it pretty well. And when you dry them, you want to dry them on a low heat setting or no heat setting. You basically want to air dry these things, and some people even hang them up and let them air dry. Alright guys, so now we're going to move on to the claying process of the truck. And if a lot of you don't know what claying actually is, I'm removing contaminants out of the paint by hand with a putty type material that we call a clay. So if you buy your clay from Shine Supply like I do, whether it's a light or medium clay, it comes with this tub and you can put a spray detailer in it or whatever so that your clay doesn't stick to it and it's almost impossible to pull out. But also, clay molds out really well when it's warm. It's easier to work with. So what I do, I put warm water in the tub here so that it's easier to mold out my clay. So you'll get a block of clay and you just pull off a section of it, mold it out to whatever size you want. Use the small piece to clay the truck instead of using a giant piece and using up all of your clay in one step. Alright guys, so I'm going to clay this panel of the truck, and you may say, well, this looks like a brand new truck. Well, cars, new or older cars, get contaminated. If they drive down the road, they can get contaminated. So me, as a detailer, my job is to safely remove any contamination and defects from the paint and protect it. That's our goal here. So what I'm going to do is take a few sprays of Shine Mist, and I have a light clay here because black paint is very sensitive in some vehicles. I don't know the paint hardness of this truck yet, and black shows every imperfection. So if I use a medium clay or a more abrasive clay, it's going to put more marring in the truck. So I'm going to start out light to see if this light clay bar can take out that contamination. If it does, we'll continue with the process. If there's heavier contamination in this truck than what I thought, I'll move on to the medium purple clay. Alright, so this spot of the truck is now clayed. The clay was gliding really smoothly across. When you're claying, you can actually hear the roughness of the contamination within the paint. As soon as I started, I could immediately hear that roughness silence, and it glided really smoothly, which means that this white light clay bar took out the contamination that I needed it to remove. So now I'm going to take my waffle weave drying towel, remove the clay loop, and continue with the rest of the truck. Alright guys, so if any of you follow me up on Instagram, I said that I was going to do a short segment on polishers and what I have in my arsenal. So this isn't completely everything I have. I do have a DeWalt rotary that I used in the last vlog for polishing American Force wheels. So, but this is my main paint correction tools here. So to start on the left side, I have the Rupes Hybrid Nano from the Bigfoot collection. And it has interchangeable backing plates out from a 1 1/4 inch to a 2 inch to allow me to get into those smaller intricate areas. And from Torque Tool Company, here I've got the Torque X polisher. It's a very good beginner polisher. It comes standard with a 5-inch backing plate, but it is interchangeable to any size backing plate you want to put on it besides a 6-inch. So what I did was put a 3-inch backing plate on it to allow me to get into some smaller areas, but not super small. That way I can cover some surface area. This polisher has an 8mm throw, allowing it to take out a decent bit of defects. Last but not least, this is the Bigfoot 15mm Mark II. So the Mark II was originally designed with a little bit more power than the original Bigfoot polishers. The 15mm is specifically designed for detailers in general so that we can get into a lot of smaller areas without having as much pad stall. In my first vlog polishing up my buddy Christian's truck, I noticed I had a ton of pad stall anyway. No matter what I had on it, just weird angles with the polisher, it totally didn't want to work right. So what I did, I saw that a lot of people were using this backing plate by the Kamikaze collection. So I saved up, invested in one, the Kamikaze Beast backing plate. This thing works wonders. It definitely is a beast. I noticed very little pad stall outs. There's very minor areas that I can get in where the pad actually stalls out. But overall, this thing helps me get a lot more efficiency. So what you might notice is all three of these are dual action polishers. Dual action polishers have a orbital motion, and depending on whether it was a 8mm like the Torque X or 15mm throw like the Rupes Mark II here, the higher throw it has, the more defect removal rate it has. It removes those defects in half the time, and it is overall a lot more efficient. The owner came in for these heavy water spots here. They're just all over the hood, all over the doors. It's everywhere. So with these two pads here, the microfiber is going to have more cut and a little less clarity, and the yellow foam pad is going to have less cut but a lot more clarity too. When I started doing this, for a hobby, I just fell in love with it. The name Southern Detailing came from inspiration from my dad. My dad's somebody I really look up to. He pours foundations for houses. His business name is Southern Footings. Southern Detailing had a nice ring to it, and that's what I kind of started calling it, as a joke and whatnot with my friends and all. They would say, "Oh, look at Mr. Southern Detailing here," and all that, and the name just kind of stuck. So that kind of made this what it is today, and I've taken this hobby and built it up into a passion, and it's completely blown up into anything I could have ever imagined. 2017 was a huge year, and by the looks of it, 2018 is going to be an amazing year also, and I really just can't wait to see what this is going to be. I've had a few people mock me in my face before, over social media. Sometimes, there's this kid. There's always some kid out there looking to pick an argument with someone and stuff like that. And, comment he made was, "What's so Southern about detailing anyway? When you come here, you're treated like family." Yeah, no matter what you have, no matter what you come to me with, whatever your problems are, I do my best to fix it. Even though sometimes they may not come out completely 100%, that's where we try to go. That's what we strive for. And we're not going to stop until we get close enough. And then we're going to go a little bit further than that. That's what Southern Detailing is about. Alright guys, so it's pretty late at night, and I finally got the truck completely corrected, so we're going to get ready to cleanse the paint and lay down Daddy-O paint sealant. And this is a silica dioxide formula, and silica dioxide is a lot different from any Carnauba products. Carnauba can be wiped off within the first 15 minutes or so, but a lot of silica dioxide products have to lay on the paint for a extensive amount of time, about 30 minutes minimum. So we're going to let Daddy-O soak in for about an hour, and come back, wipe it off, and give that about 10 minutes, and then we're going to come back over it with clutch silica spray and really juice this truck up and give it a lot of hydrophobic properties and it's going to help extend the life of the Daddy-O paint sealant. Also, then we're going to get the trim dressed up, we're going to get the tires dressed up, and then clean the glass inside and out and get this truck ready to roll. Paint correction is really, if you're doing it right and you're trying to get really good results out of it, especially on black. I talked to a buddy of mine, Chase, earlier, and we both discussed how difficult black paint is to buff, especially GM paint in particular. There's no such thing as a one-step polish with this. You either cut and have haze, or either you get clarity and no cut. So it's definitely a two-step process to get this paint perfected. Quick way that I apply it, and I really want to explain this product, because if any of you go out and buy it and use it improperly, it may be a little confusing. So first of all, I will say, even though this isn't a spray bottle and it's called a silica spray, it's not a detail spray. You don't spray it directly on the paint. If you take a microfiber applicator, I'm going to just hit it one time for this hood, and then apply it just like I would any wax or a ceramic coating. Get a nice even layer across the entire thing. Alright, so just that quick, half of the hood's now applied. I'm going to finish the rest of this hood, carry on through the rest of the truck, and then after that last panel, I'm going to give this stuff an hour or two to sit. The reason you can let this stuff sit so long is because silica dioxide really likes to bond to paint, and if a vehicle is coated or anything like that, it also likes to bond into that coating and really enhance it, really bring the gloss back. And you can leave this stuff sitting for about an hour, hour and a half, whatever, and come back, and sometimes it'll wipe straight off. It may need a little persuasion with the detail spray from time to time, but normally the longer you let it sit, the easier it is to take off. Unlike traditional waxes, the longer they sit, they are absolutely difficult to remove.